Hello everybody, Cody here. Very excited to connect with all of you. So I have a couple announcements to make first of all. A couple of you know, of course, on the Facebook group already, I have my book that's coming out, The Channel of the Universe, Sync Up to Infinite Consciousness and Activate Your Energetic Potential, available in paperback, hardcover, as well as Kindle ebook. So the ebook is already available for pre-order, and the hardcover and the paperback will be available on the day of release. So I'm very, very excited about that. Thank you all for being a part of this. It has been such a beautiful and exciting experience, and I'm just so excited to share everything with you, everything that I put into the book, and more works to come in the future as well. This is just my debut book, and I'm just really excited to get the momentum going now around all of this. It's just feels like a long time in the making, you know. I feel like I've been doing these videos for a long time and I've had works for so long, so it's just nice to be able to share one of those things with you guys. So genuinely appreciating you all. So I wanted to just answer a couple of you guys' questions and just see where the guides lead us throughout this process of just connecting, tuning in, and seeing what sort of dialogue, consciousness they would like to plug into anything that we discuss here moving forward, okay? So we're going to go through some of the questions, and we're just going to move through them and then see what comes through related to this, okay? So the first question is from Amanda. Amanda says, I'm feeling really tired of not having any friends in my life. In high school, I had female friends, and in college, I had a great group of guy friends. I had a 6-year relationship that was very toxic, and he separated me slowly from my friends, and after that, it was a dry spell. I eventually found one girlfriend, but she was very inconsistent. We lost touch. Then I had attempted to make friendships in the Teal Tribe community, and honestly, it's been even harder to keep anyone from this space as a friend. Is this a result of me going through a phase of needing to purge from my old self and bring in new connections, or is it something else, such as having walls up to prevent being hurt and thus not letting people in? I just giggled because I'm very familiar with the Teal Tribe community. I'm very familiar with Teal. Used to live with her for a long period and used to do marketing for her and her team. We were friends. I went to her wedding, you know, all of it. And so I am very familiar with the Teal Tribe community. So just validating you there, because I know it can be difficult to sort of maintain those friendships long term. And this is actually really poignant, and I think it would be a great opportunity to kind of drop in some consciousness around here. But we did want to start first with the part where you said, I had a 6-year relationship that was very toxic, and he separated me slowly from my friends, and after that it was a dry spell. So there's a lot of consciousness that you have packed into that statement, which tells us a number of things. It tells us that you already have a heightened level of consciousness, and that is so good, because the fact that you can even detect that you have been deviating from yourself, which also implies that you understand alignment to some degree. If you're deviating from yourself, you're falling out of alignment, and you're receiving a number of these symptoms that reflect being out of alignment, okay? These dry spells, having difficult connecting to other people, maintaining relationships, just not really feeling good about yourself, you know, and feeling frustrated. These are all symptoms of falling out of alignment from your true self. There are a number of people on the planet, many people, most people, if not, I would say, most people on this planet, it takes a lot more bad things going wrong for them to even realize they are on a negative path, or they are on a path that is separate or deviated from your true self, from your true path. When we see what you wrote here, he separated me slowly from my friends, and after that it was a dry spell. What we heard is he separated me slowly from my heart, and after that it was a dry spell. So 6 years, 6 years of practicing a version of you that was not your true self. 6 years of tuning out of your heart and tuning into his needs over your own needs. 6 years of being infiltrated with his thoughts as opposed to your thoughts, his 6 years of feeling like your thoughts don't belong to you, not knowing, not having an adequate sense of self, losing touch with others, people around you, your joy falling away, all of these years of practicing this energy, you do create a charge of that energy in your life because it's like going down a path, a trail, right? For, or the wrong trail, for how many miles, sometimes, eventually, it does take effort to get back on the trail a little bit. It does, but that does not mean that it's far off, okay? The fact that you can even detect that you are off course is already a good sign, okay? So there's a number of things as well, because you also said, is this a result of me going through a phase of needing to purge from my old self and bring in new connections? Yes, that comes with dry spells. Anytime we're in a dry spell in our life, it is always simultaneously the greatest opportunity, one of the greatest opportunities. We don't really have a choice because you're so keenly focused on yourself and you're so keenly fixating, okay, this I don't approve of, this I don't approve of, this I do approve of, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is not what I want. This is the time in your life where you get so specific with what you want for your life, okay? The other thing to say is no matter what path we deviate on in our lives, it is just a detour. It's not like you're off course. It is a detour, accumulating new experiences and new components to plug into your life that will become, okay? Each new experience, and when we go into these sometimes abusive relationships or times in our life where we forget who we are, whether it's a job that we didn't want for 10 years or going to school for something we didn't want or whatever it might be, we always, it's very common to find yourself in these positions in your life, where we are forgetting kind of who we are. But, it is natural to kind of find your course back because what that is essentially doing is just accumulating, again, different experiences, different desires that's plugging into the new future that you are becoming. Okay, you are on a continual state of becoming. You are a continuum, and there will always be something else that you want, even when you feel like you've had it all. There's going to be a time where you start feeling like, okay, I'm feeling like I want to move this way, okay? And when we're truly in alignment, the deviations from those, those waves in our life feel less drastic, feel less dramatic, feel less painful, It's just more like, ooh, I feel a wind and I feel like it's taking me this way. And then, and then you end up, flying to Europe for a 6-month, whatever, and then you do something there, or you feel called to, connect to somebody that you haven't for a long time. You have to feel the inspiration. Feel the inspiration. Inspiration implies that there's energy that's influencing you in that moment. High vibrational energy, source energy is influencing you in that moment when inspiration comes along. So this is when you don't want to force friendships, things like that. It's when you don't feel inspired in that way, it's always going to feel like a disconnect. And again, these dry spells are opportunities to help us remember who we are and also remember who we were before going into that negative relationship. Why, understanding the impetus behind getting into that relationship, it helps you just understand who you are fundamentally and what your needs are again. And that's what's happening right now. You are getting to know yourself a little bit more. And also what happens naturally in these relationships, of course, when we're in these toxic relationships, that for that long of a period of time, you do build up walls, one, to protect yourself from your partner. And then, of course, you keep those walls up, leading into new relationships. Of course, it's natural to keep those walls up, to project your fears from your past relationship onto these new relationships, these new people in your life. So these are all natural things, but it does not mean that you're off course. It means that you're on course because you're aware that you were off course for that time in your life. So 6 years in that relationship, that's done. That sounds like that's in the past, okay? And you're going through these, experiences that are helping you kind of learn these lessons about yourself again. So even though these relationships with these new people and these communities didn't necessarily work out for you, there were always things that you learned there are always new things that you learned about yourself, okay? So take note of those things, okay? And just continue to, one, remember who you truly are, and also get to know more about who you are as well. Okay, because there's probably more growth there and getting to know who you truly are, allowing you to really flex your spirit, freely in this life. And yeah, it really just takes one person seeing you where you are to feel connected, to feel love. We are flowing love. That's what we are. We are light energy. So when you connect your light with another person's light, it is a beautiful experience. And sometimes the only thing that we need to do that is to know that we are safe. And what you've done here is you've been so vulnerable, and it's so admirable that you have sort of opened your heart up like this to people, So that says that, okay, I am open and I am receptive to this love, to this light, and to connection from this place. So absolutely, there's, your situation is very common, and it's very relatable. Whether it's in just the themes alone, we can all kind of relate in our own ways here, okay? And regardless of, whether it was a community, whether, again, it was a job, no matter what the thing was that you were having difficulty connecting with people in, or feeling like there was a difficult or strained relationship being in that job or in that community, whatever it might be, it's just important to understand that when you get to know yourself and when you are in the right place, it's not about it's not even, you can almost connect to just about anybody. When we are in a good state of being, when we are feeling good about ourselves, it is so much easier to connect to people. So sometimes it really is just kind of spending that time with ourselves and remembering, what that feeling even feels like of really being connected. Life is about seasons. And there will be different seasons of our lives where we have different connections with beautiful people. And sometimes, those experiences were made for that time in your life to set you up for the next wave in your life that will come. But before a wave comes, there is that dry spell, as you said. Sometimes, not always, sometimes you can flow from one to the next. And awareness helps with that, staying conscious of your own emotions each and every day, how you feel, and making that matter really does help those transitions be a little bit easier. But you have to understand, if you made that beautiful connection with that person, or in Teal Tribe, or wherever it might have been, it wasn't that person or it wasn't that community that made you feel connected. It was that you were ready for those connections. And when you're ready for a connection, that the people will show up, It's just, there's a little bit of trauma and there's a little bit of just, harping on the past and remembering those themes of that relationship that we are afraid of repeating again in the future. That's sort of occurring right here, and we all feel with you, Amanda. These themes are not unique to you. They are not. Many of us can relate in many ways, and I think your question is very, very, very useful and very helpful to a great number of people. So thank you again just for being so brave. I appreciate that so much. So I'm almost wanting to kind of put these off for later. I think we covered a lot in just that one prompt. So thank you again, Amanda, and sending you all so much love and light, so much appreciation and gratitude. Thank you, guys.